What more do the Lions need to do to be a contender?
Yeah, I think make the playoffs. This is where we are on the opening drive, right? We're going with Dan
Yep.
Campbell, Jared Goff on the center. Um, they lost Jamal Williams. That's gonna hurt because he
Yeah.
was the heart and soul. Like I think leadership counts or something. And I know you got David Montgomery, but Jamal Williams played well. He got a bunch of touchdowns. That's the only knock I have on the Lions, but they had a lot of question marks defensively, and to get that secondary, CJ Gardner-Johnson, who signed, that's kind of a rocky
That
situation.
dude's crazy.
Yeah, he lost money, but that became Detroit Lions gain. And I know there's some history there with Dan Campbell in New Orleans, so that's a nice fit. I think Cameron Sutton has potential to be a number one cornerback. He's not like one of the elite of the game, but he's versatile, could play in the slot, outside. And then you shot him out last week. Is Mosley right? Is it Mosley from
Yeah.
the 49ers? Is pretty good. Graham Glass now, I think that's the one that Victor mentioned. So a lot of talent, especially in that back end of the secondary for the Lions. So I think now they're in position to maybe even win the division, the NFC North. I don't know if they're Super Bowl contenders, but they're definitely a NFC North contender.
You know what's crazy, Gilbert? I feel like every day MCDC is bringing in all the players, the whole roster. They're sitting there like in March Madness, waiting to see when their guys are going to get this guy. What seed you're going to be? They're waiting for Aaron Rodgers trade, so that as soon as it happens, he's going to get up. Listen, man, this is our division. We're going to take it, man. We're going to decapitate kneecaps, man. We're going to get these guys, man. I feel like that's exactly what he's going to do as soon as Aaron Rodgers leaves the division. Gilbert, remember, we didn't see that much of Jameson Williams from Alabama. He was one of their first-round draft picks. You and I both kind of thought the Chargers might swing for the fences and go get him in the first round. The Lions jumped back in the first round, and they grabbed him. He's going to be a huge part of this offense. That's why they've let DJ Chark leave. That's why they have some other weapons. They also own the 6th overall pick, the 18th, the 48th, and the 55th, Gilbert. That's a lot of draft picks in the first 2 rounds.
They need to add an edge rusher and maybe get a tight end because they lost to the TJ Hawkinson to the
Exactly.
Vikings. So maybe those are the draft picks you get those 2 positions there. Now we're really talking about NFC contender.
But see, my thing is, what, like, 6th, you're going to be tempted. You're really going to be tempted to try and take a quarterback. But you
Ooh,
could say, you know what?
yeah.
Let's just trust Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Let's trust that he could do this. Let's get a pass rusher in the 6th pick. Because then you can remember the draft might not even start until the 5th pick. All the quarterbacks might be gone by the 5th pick, and then
True.
you can basically have your pick. Imagine Will Anderson on one side, and on the other side you have the Joey Bosa lookalike, or the guy from Michigan.
You mean is it Iowa, right?
No, the guy from Michigan. No, the one that they drafted last
Oh,
year,
Aiden Hutchinson, but yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, sorry,
Can you
there's another
imagine
Iowa prospect.
Anderson and
Right, right.
Hutchinson on each
Sorry,
side?
both.
Well, my bad. Well, everybody kept on comparing him to Joey and Nick Bosa.
That's true.
Can you imagine that? And then the 18th pick, you go get Kincaid from Utah, or you go get Michael Mayer. Man, that team just really
Pretty good.
changed. Yeah, so I mean that's
But
the thing, and I know they're gonna want that quarterback. I know it. I know they're
can I give
gonna.
you a scenario, Fernando?
I want one.
Okay, let's just say maybe Will Anderson is gone because the first non-quarterback prospect that's high on the board. Jalen Carter is gonna fall. We'll get into it. But the guy from Texas Tech and Iowa are the next
Ooh,
prospects. I don't want to butcher their names. I think Tyree Wilson's at Texas Tech. I
yeah.
don't want to butcher the Iowa, but they're defensive linemen, and you need that for the Lions. But if Anthony Richardson just sitting there for the taken for the future, because Bryce Young, CJ Stroud taken already, would you do it? Take Anthony Richardson? We were talking about this.
Do you trust your quarterbacks coach and your offensive coordinator to mold a kid like that while sitting on the bench, while Jared Goff leads this team? That's going to be really what the Lions are going to have to say to themselves. 1, 2, will they be tempted to bring him in as a gadget player and maybe use his athleticism in key situations, maybe like other teams have? Like, I give Andy Reid credit. That year that Patrick Mahomes sat, he could have brought him. Now, knowing what we know about Patrick Mahomes, he could have brought him in as a gadget player and had him do some plays, and maybe he would have thrown everybody off. But that's going to be the question that he and his staff need to ask them, or him and the general manager need to ask themselves. Do we trust these guys to mold that quarterback in the next year, or should we just go looking at the way the NFC is as a whole? The Eagles are hurting. The Tampa Bay has lost Tom Brady. You see Aaron Rodgers just left the Green Bay Packers. Do
Not
you go
officially,
all in?
not officially,
Well, not official,
but
but
we all know. We all know it.
yeah, but not official. But do you go all in and say, okay, it's time, let's go, let's kick
Yeah,
everybody,
yeah, that is
kick
true.
their teeth in, and
Good
let's
point.
go get this. Go get this. That's really what the
Good point.
Lions are gonna have to ask themselves.
A team starving for a playoff win or just an appearance, they might just, you know what, forget it. Jared Goff lead us that way, and then we'll build the rest of the roster. You might be
The
right there.
the Bears and the Lions are gonna be way better next year. I can't wait to watch both of them next year. And if the Bears do everything right going into the new stadium, they may have everything that they need: a star receiver, their star quarterback, everything. The offensive line built better. But yep, that's exactly what they're gonna have to do. But Gilbert, you mentioned it: 900 subscribers on YouTube, and you get one of those nice sweatshirts. That's es una ganga, like they say in Mexico. That's what more could you ask for?
Sounds like a gang, but yeah, that too. Yeah, so we help us get to 900 subscribers, and we're almost there. And then you'll definitely get one of these nice hoodies, and you know what? Maybe Anthony Richardson wears one too for the Lions.
Hey, you never know.